This is game 5. Whoever wins this has the momentum to close this thing out.
This team at home, when they get rolling, they're so tough to stop.
He knows this is desperation time. He's pleading with his team. Fight, fight.
Spurs need a desperate, miraculous comeback, or else they'll be playing for their lives. McCain lifting, launching, finding a three. Game number 5 to the Thunder. 1 win from a return to the finals.
Well, the best of the West, it has Spurs Thunder been a classic. SGA a slow start to game 5, but then 17 trips to the free throw line, made 16 of them. The reigning 2-time MVP finished with 32 and 9 assists, tying the OKC postseason record for most 30.5 dime games. The Thunder bench once again had a major impact. Alex Caruso, his second 20-point game this series. This after being held scoreless in game 4. Cason Wallace had a team best plus 29 in 31 minutes. Kenrich Williams gave good minutes. And then, great as he's been, Wemby was not a factor. 4 of 15 shooting, worst performance of his playoff career. And he struggled defensively as well. Thunder players shot 11 of 16 with Wemby as the primary defender. Chiney Ogwumike joins us now here on SportsCenter. And Chiney, I think it's safe to say that performance weighed on Wemby Tuesday night. He violated the NBA's media rules, skipped out on speaking to reporters, which is not a felony, but it is a requirement of the job, and the league did issue a warning. What's your take here?
Well, one of my favorite personal sayings is you have to go through it to get to it. And we have seen Victor Wembanyama go through it for better and for worse in this NBA playoffs. Just as we've seen the high highs, the big wins, the averaging 30 while shooting 50% from the floor and 40% from 3, we have also seen the low lows, the elbows, or, as you mentioned, not being available for the media. And I'm not going to overreact to the last one, the latter, because missing media is not egregious as a first-time offender, but moving forward, our antennas are up. Because one thing that Wemby said that I loved earlier in the year is that he will never hide his emotions when he's playing. We have seen them all. Now, 2 things can be true, Kevin. Victor Wembanyama, is a sensational alien talent. He's ahead of his time. But he is also just 22 years old, and he's also learning on the fly. So I'm not overreacting, but he will have to learn from this experience very fast.
Go through it to get to it. And, of course, it's a 1-game season now for San Antonio. Win or it's over. So, today, what must the Spurs do in Game 6 to force that Game 7?
Kevin, you remember those tests? It's like select A, B, C, or D on a Scantron, and D is all of the above.
Yes.
For the Spurs, they're going to have to do all of the above. They have to select all of them because, 1, Victor Wembanyama pretty much needs to go nuclear. His back is against the wall. He will need to go off and be the dominant guy that we have seen in those wins. 2, he will need to get some help because De'Aaron Fox had 9 points. Devin Vassell had 6 points. Dylan Harper had 5 points. You can't have that low-level production from the supporting cast going up against a Thunder squad that is giving you 50 points per game, over 50 off the bench. C, they're going to have to pick a lane. Pick a lane. Either you let SGA defensively go off and hold down everyone else, or you let other people go off like we saw in Game 1, like Alex Caruso, and hold down the back-to-back MVP. They have to pick a lane, a strategy. They're going to have to do all of the above in order to extend the series.
D, all of the above. San Antonio is 2-0 and trailing in a series. This postseason Game 6 is Thursday night. And then, Chiney, in other news, Adam Silver appeared on the Pat McAfee primetime State of Sports. He was asked about the rising concern over flopping. Here is what Silver and Pacer star Tyrese Halliburton had to say.
There's a difference between selling a call, exaggeration, and a true flop, which is where you're actually fooling the referees. I think sometimes, even as I sit in the stands at games, players may be falling down, players may be reacting to a call, but then to me, if they're not fooling the referees, it's like, okay, that's like the players are taught to sell calls these days. I mean, can officiating get bad? Can officiating get better? Of course. We're always working on that. Can officials get fooled occasionally? We're always looking at that as well. But the officiating is incredible.
Yeah, for sure. It's being taught. I don't think it's as much head coach teaching as much as it is like player development. Even before you get to the NBA, it's just something that you kind of work on by nature.
Being taught and you work on it. Chiney, you're in charge. Fix the issue of flopping in the NBA.
First, let me say this. I personally believe, and I'm a post player, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I do think that there has been a huge overcorrection to produce points at a complete league-wide level and also to protect the shooter, which first and foremost, let me just say, protecting the shooter is very, very important. But there have been a number of rules instituted to produce points and to make sure the shooter has the advantage in many, many circumstances. One is the hot stove rule, which means similar to everyone that's a kid at home, your parents say don't touch the stove. If you're going to touch a hot stove, you only get one touch. If you hold it too long, you get a foul or you get burned, right? That's the hot stove rule. So defenders could really not do damage on the perimeter because you can only get one touch, and then the offensive player has all the advantages. And then secondly, we've talked a lot about landing space, which is very important, but we're getting a lot of reviews. And so there are a lot of manipulations where you can produce points and produce offense that I think benefits those advantages for players like, people talk about it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm a Houston girl. I watched James Harden do it. A lot of the best players know how to manipulate the game, and it's part of the game. But it has been a little bit too much. I think the benefit, or at least the intention moving forward, is to level the playing field. You want everyone, if they do hone in on flopping, I think a lot of players will be very happy for that, because right now it feels like you can't really play the requisite amount of defense because of the stringent circumstances around the shooter. I hope I broke that down well.
You did very well. We don't want to go back to the early 90s Knicks days, but maybe a little bit more leniency for defenders on the perimeter. Chiney Ogwumike going through it to get to it.
New York Knicks have won 10 in a row, and tonight they have a chance to clinch a finals berth.
Don't sweat the technique.
Bridges drives alley-oop, and Robinson with the two-handed slam. Deuce McBride hits the three-pointer, fakes a three, sidestep, another three-pointer, punts it in. Knicks are red hot once again. It's a 20-point lead.
Cavs have let go here. Like the hope is disappearing right now.
Another turnover, Anunoby, Brunson, alley-oop.
When they sweat the technique.
And Anunoby with the slam.
Believe it, Knick fans, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
April 23rd, the Knicks had just suffered their second straight one-point loss to the Hawks, fell into a 2-1 hole, and coughed up home court advantage in the process. That nervous, inevitable sense of doom in New York just kind of started creeping in, and then bam! The Knicks just flat quit losing, kicked the habit. 11 straight wins, a 34-day stretch of pure bliss. To put that into context, on April 23rd, the WNBA preseason hadn't even begun. On April 23rd, Fernando Mendoza was taken in the NFL draft. On April 23rd, the Cubs were in the middle of a 10-game win streak. They just snapped a 10-game losing streak Wednesday. There's been a lot of living since April 23rd, just no Knicks losing. Let's go back to this historic run by a team trying to defy its own rough history. That Hawks series, again, they were down 2-1, looking to close it out in 6. Almost did it in 5.5. Ran the Hawks off the court before halftime, led by 47 at the break. An NBA playoff record, the 51-point win, largest playoff win in team history. On to the Sixers, looking for the sweep. And again, the Knicks, really good closers, never gave Philly a chance to even breathe. This was a 30-point romp. Knicks' third sweep in a best-of-7 in franchise history. Knicks fans showing up down there. Here's what Josh Hart had to say about playing in Philly.
I used to think Philly was a sports town. I don't know if it is anymore.
Ouch! The Knicks advance to the conference finals. They get Cleveland game 1. Remember this? Knicks were down 22 in the fourth quarter and somehow came all the way back to tie and then win it in overtime. In the postseason, the Knicks became just the first team to win when trailing by 20-plus in the final 7 minutes of the fourth. All other teams 0 and 663. And then game 2, Brunson and the Knicks, big in the third, go on an 18-0 run. Take a listen to Josh Hart again post-game.
I'm never a huge analytics guy. At a certain point, they're a lamppost to a drunk person. You can lean on it, but it won't get you home.
That made Cat all cross-eyed. The reaction was priceless. Then Landry Shamet in game 3. How hot was this guy? Feeling it. Knicks' first 10-game win streak at any point since 2013. Here's Kenny Atkinson.
Analytically, I think we've won the I said 3 out of 3. We're 2 out of 3 in the expected. I don't know if you guys follow that as in like an expected score.
In the expected score league, they're still in the series.
Champions.
Right?
Yeah.
The season's still going. And then game 4, again, another blowout win for the Knicks. They go on to win by 37 thanks to a 20-zip run. The Knicks are the only team in history with 3 30-point series clinching wins in a postseason. They advance to the finals for the first time again this century.
Off-day news from the NBA as the league has warned Victor Wembanyama after he didn't speak to reporters following San Antonio's 13-point Game 5 loss. That's something the NBA has previously fined players for, most recently in 2023 to Jimmy Butler and Dillon Brooks. Now, if this were a player who was at all disliked, he would get crushed for not speaking with the media after a disappointing outing. So even though the sports world is enamored with him, Wembanyama can't skate here, and a warning seems like skating. Fair or not, players who become faces of teams and potentially faces of a league have to meet with reporters. And the fact of the matter is every player does. It is part and parcel within the job description. This is not me, a media guy who thinks it's my right. It's a rule in the NBA. Spurs need a bounce-back performance from Wembanyama to keep the season alive on Thursday night and force a deciding Game 7. In the 2 games San Antonio's won this series, he's averaging 37 and 16. Spurs going to have something like that because in the 3 losses, his scoring has decreased by nearly 15 points per game. We welcome Chiney Ogwumike back to the program with an eye on Game 6, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. Chiney, the Spurs must have it to force it to a deciding 7th game in Oklahoma City. I'm interested if you saw what some others did in the Spurs. This is an inexperienced team, right? Yet they've gotten all this way. Did they show some of their inexperience in the playoffs, in your estimation, on the road in Game 5?
I think they did. They did show a little bit of inexperience because they were unable to fight through fatigue. And let's break this down because offensively, Game 5 was what it looked to be the welcome to the NBA playoffs through adversity moment for Victor Wembanyama. And it's kind of ironic to say that Victor Wembanyama, a guy that's 7'5", had no legs, but who did it? Now, the supporting cast, I truly think, needs to be able to step up. So when Victor is struggling, you have to sort of have other guys step up and try to hold down the fort. I wish I had time to dig into my history books and talk about mythology. I forgot what goddess or god was the one with all the snakes and the heads coming out. And every time one gets cut off, the other one grows. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anytime they miss a star player like Jalen Williams, J-Dub, or A.J. Mitchell, who are 2 of their top 3 creators, no big deal. Alex Caruso just goes in there and drops 22. No big deal. Jared McCain knocks down 3 threes and has 20 points. If I'm the Spurs, you have to pick your poison. Either SGA goes off, you limit the supporting cast, or it's like Game 1 where the supporting cast goes off. Alex Caruso has a career high, and now you're able to limit the back-to-back MVP. So they have to pick a lane, the San Antonio Spurs. Otherwise, we're going to see a similar result to Game 5 where everybody eats.
So now you know how NBA Twitter works. I mean, they're going to say, did she just compare OKC to Medusa? And that's not going to make people out there happy. You know how that works now. You're gonna have to deal with Thunder Nation.
No, and it's good. Medusa's a monster. You want to be a monster this time of year.
It's a compliment.
Yeah.
It's a compliment. It's a compliment. All right, whoever comes out of this rugged series, be it the Spurs or the Thunder, you got the Knicks waiting and rested and playing at an astounding level. Now, if folks want to dismiss who they went through, that's fine. But they just beat 3 teams in a row and closed out games on the road by damn near 40 on average. I'm interested in how you view them as a potential NBA champion.
It's real. It's possible. It's not about being the best team at this point of the year, May into June. It's about playing your best basketball. This is a renaissance. This is a revitalization of everything that New Yorkers have been waiting for. I was there when they closed it out in Cleveland, in New York City. My hotel was shaken. The city has been praying for moments like this. So I think it's real and fully possible that the Knicks cut down the nets. Now, it will be hard knowing that they're going to have to go on the road to start the NBA Finals. But it's also better that you are super rested and have 9 days to just grab your notepad, watch these games as I'm like shifting through my house, grab your notepad, watch these games and tap in. They have so many advantages working to their benefit.
Janae, I was walking through the streets of New York City on Tuesday, and you're right, the vibes are through the roof. And I sent Chuck and Ernie a picture of some street meat. They're very excited to get to New York City and get some of those. Hey, man, don't roll your eyes and come on now.
You get a little
falafel, a gyro,
I wasn't right.
Little ice cream truck.
After that.
You go ice cream truck turn gyro stand. That's high level New York cuisine.
Scott, you and me will go grab some ice cream, not some street meat. When we go to games 3 and 4, you and me will get some ice cream. I'm down for that.
All right. Hey, I'm going to follow Chuck wherever he goes because I have a feeling he knows where to find the good. I look forward to seeing you in the city, all right?
Always.